Hey, welcome to Science Fi YouTube channel. In my channel, we talk about personal finance, money, and everything in between. Today, I'm going to talk about how to save for your first condo apartment before age 35. To be specific, from $0 to condo in 8 years. Now, this isn't a recommendation that everybody should aspire towards buying a condo as their first property and they must do it before age 35, right? It's just that there are people with such aspirations, and of course, single people like myself, we have no choice but to buy private property unless we want to wait until 35 to buy public housing. In fact, I think most people are better off buying public housing if they're eligible and then see how to save for their next property, which is a private property. First of all, I'm going to set forth the assumptions that's required for this hypothetical situation to play out, and that is you need to be a fresh graduate of $3,500 salary every month. You have no financial difficulty at home that requires you to pay a lot of monthly expense, for example, and your parents are generally okay with you living rent-free at their place, as with most parents in Singapore would, I think. I'm going to define the property as a one-bedder condominium, which I think is enough for a single person to live in. And in about 8 years' time, at about 5% per annum appreciation, that $700,000 will actually grow to $1 million, give or take tens of thousands of dollars. And that would be the goal for a single person. Now, for a married couple, I think it still works. You just double everything, including the price of the property and as well as the income that you start off with. I think one-bedder condominiums tend to go from $600,000 to $700,000 over dollars. Of course, don't expect to be living in super prime areas of Singapore at this price range. So you also must be realistic when it comes to your property decision. For married couples, I think times 2, 1.4 million. It's actually a very decent budget for a condominium. So for a $1,030,000 condominium, your LTV is currently 25%, so your down payment is about $260,000, which means that if you are saving for 8 years, right, every year is about $32,000 of savings required. So that brings me to my first point on how to afford a condo in 8 years, which is to save aggressively. And I do mean aggressively because at $32,000 a year, it works out to about $2,600 to $2,700 per month. So fresh graduates, I think, might be able to get anywhere between $3,000 to $3,500 a month. So we're going to have to take $3,500 a month, and I'm assuming that there's no pay rise or pay increment in the next 8 years, which is, I think, a bit unrealistic. It means that you probably suck at your job and should reconsider your career option. So let's aim for $2,700 monthly savings. On a $3,500 monthly gross salary, your CPF OA contribution is actually $805, inclusive of your employer's contribution, which means to save $2,700 a month for a property, you need at least $1,900 to come from your take-home salary. So $2,800 minus $1,900 actually leaves you around $900 to play with, which is quite a tight budget. But hey, it's called saving aggressively. So let's break down this $900 to see how much of it you can spend on which categories of spend. Now, is $900 a month practical for a fresh graduate to live on in Singapore? I think yes, provided you live with your parents and don't pay rent, right? And you cut down on expenses like restaurant dining and eating expensive food, right? At this budget, you are looking at cai fan almost every other day, or anything that's actually $5 or less, which is very doable in Singapore in my opinion. Now, if you have watched my other videos, you will know that for a few years of my life, I was living on $1,000 per month salary. So I'm very experienced in trying to cut my budget to under $1,000 every month. Meals in Singapore can actually be less than $300 a month if you stick by my rule, which is to designate $5 and under as normal meals and $5 and above as luxury meals. Other items I can think of will be insurance, about $100 per month. Yes, $100 per month if you buy the proper kinds of insurance, more on that later. And about $100 for transportation, which means no grabbing here and there, bus and MRT all the way. And then bills, maybe $50 for your handphone bills. And that leaves a few $100 for discretionary spending, like your entertainment. Or if you feel that $300 is a crazy small amount for meals because you eat a lot, then you can top up your meal budget from this few $100 of discretionary spending per month. So I think $900 per month is actually very doable for someone on a budget with a goal in mind, which is to afford a condo in 8 years. I will be having upcoming videos on how to reduce your insurance premiums and also more ways to save money. So watch out for them on my YouTube channel and click the subscribe button. Now, the second method to get your condo within 8 years will be to do your side hustles and earn a second income. Now, we live in a time where we call it the gig economy, so there shouldn't be an issue with earning a few extra bucks during your free time, and I think that is really something that can help you reach your goal much faster than just saving aggressively for your condo. As a fresh graduate, you should be able to be a tutor and earn some extra bucks every weekend. Now, even if you charge $50 per lesson, 1 month is about $200 if you just take one student. And how much is $200 per month for 8 years? It works out to almost $20,000, which is almost 10% of your $260,000 down payment goal. Now, if you double that effort and take 2 students per month, or you combine them in a group lesson, you can actually have almost $40,000 in 8 years. Which means you can actually bring forward the goal from 8 years to 7 years because you have earned that extra amount of money, provided you have been saving aggressively as well. Now, if your goal is to afford a condominium, which is not cheap in Singapore, within 8 years, I don't think it's unreasonable to spend 2 or 3 hours a week picking up a side income to supplement your savings towards your goal. So I think it really depends on how much you want to afford your condo within this 8-year time frame. Now, as a fresh grad, it's also very important to remember, do not get suckered into buying an investment or insurance plan from your friend who just became an agent or financial advisor. As a fresh graduate, you're going to be targeted by many such characters. It could be your friend or someone you bump into the street trying to do a survey with you. And I don't mean to generalize, but I think that most of them, if not all, are trained to sell high commission products. And so you will be underinsured and you'll be buying a financial product that costs you a few $100s a month, which means you cannot save as much as you would like towards your goal of buying a condo within 8 years. And on top of having to spend more per month, you are buying a product that's inferior and might not meet your insurance and investment needs. So it's actually a double whammy. And if you're underinsured, forget about buying a condo in 8 years' time. You may run into a financial difficulty that's so serious that you might not be able to recover from. Right? So it's very important to get properly insured at the right price, and that almost always means that you shouldn't support your friend who just started in the insurance line. Now, of course, I already have quite a few videos on what insurance policies to avoid, and I will continue to come up with more guides and useful content about insurance, so stay tuned to that. Now, the last point I have to offer on how to afford a condo within 8 years would of course be to invest your savings. Now, your CPF OA savings of $805 per month actually translates to almost $80,000 of savings in 8 years. And if you consider a 2.5% interest, you can actually get about $86,000 of savings in that 8 years. Which means that your $260,000 is offset by the $86,000 and the rest is your goal from your cash savings. Now, saving aggressively alone will actually help you reach this goal. But if you can invest it at a return, it actually makes your life much easier because you either have more budget to spend per month or you can actually reach your goal much faster than 8 years. In fact, if you only get a modest 2.5% per annum return on your cash savings for the next few years, you actually need 7 years instead of 8 years to reach your goal of getting $260,000 from your cash savings and CPF OA combined to afford your condominium. Now, compared to people who put their money into Bitcoin and Tesla, I'm a bit more risk averse. So I actually put about half my savings into, at that time, higher interest bank accounts. Right now, you have options like Singlife account, maybe Dashpad, right? Things like that. And then the other half into investments. So it's up to your own personal risk appetite. Of course, people who are super risk seeking, they probably wouldn't even watch this video and they are like trying to chase the 10x company like Tesla, right? But again, depends on your risk appetite, on what you're comfortable to invest in. Personally, 8 years, I think is not a super long time horizon. It's not so short that you have to put all in the bank, okay? But 8 years actually is quite a short time horizon. So my personal comfort is that I will not put all into equities and maybe 60-40%, right? Depending again on your risk appetite. Now, robo-advisors such as StashAway even come up with interfaces that let you set your savings goal. You can name them as your property purchase, and then you can set the number of years and the amount you require, and then they'll give certain recommendations based on your risk appetite as well as the amount of money you can set aside every month. Of course, it doesn't apply just to StashAway. You can actually take these principles and use them on other investment services that you may encounter. I put some recommendations below. As usual, they earn me an affiliate fee, so just be aware of that. But these are services that I use myself personally and I'm recommending it to you. So is it actually difficult to save for a condo within 8 years? I would actually think it's not, because if you combine all the different methods, by saving aggressively, by doing side hustles, by investing, and by avoiding your insurance friends, I actually think that you can get it much earlier than 8 years, with everything combined. Now, let's say if you slip up in certain regards, let's say you didn't do very well in a particular year for your investment, or perhaps you took a breather and didn't side hustle for a few months, or even if you overspend your budget, actually, with all the three methods combined, you shouldn't fall too far from the 8-year mark. Now, also consider that you will have increment and promotions over the next few years. So actually, I think 8 years is a very conservative estimate for how you can get your first condominium. Now, of all the methods, I think that saving aggressively is the most crucial step and yet also the most difficult thing for most people to achieve. And therefore, I will have more articles and videos on this topic. And already I have some on my website which you can take a look at satisfy.com. And since I'm plugging my website already, I might as well plug my Telegram group as well. This way you can get more updates on great deals to earn you more money towards your next condo or to save more money for that goal. Right? So subscribe to my Telegram and I'll see you next video. You can also do your own chiropractic to save money. Oof.